And we begin with the news of Iowa State University's head football coach, Matt Campbell, heading to Penn State. Multiple sources are reporting Campbell agreed to an 8-year deal with Penn State, pending approval by the school's Board of Trustees. ESPN's Pete Thamel reported the two sides met last night to work toward finalizing a deal for Campbell to become the Nittany Lions' next head coach. Reports first started surfacing last night that Penn State was highly interested in Campbell for the job. Iowa State's athletic director Jamie Pollard spoke tonight about Campbell's departure.
Well, first of all, let's start with what Matt Campbell's done and meant to Iowa State University. Iowa State University needs to put a statue up on Matt Campbell at some point in time in the future because he did more for Iowa State football than anybody ever has. And although I'm disappointed that he's leaving, it's not my right to decide what is right for Matt Campbell and his family at this point in time. That's a very personal decision for him, and gave him the space to make the decision that he felt was the right decision for him. But at the same time, when Matt and I talked about it, I just said, Matt, I've got to run a parallel process because I've got a responsibility to the young men in that room and to our fan base and to Iowa State University. And so, we obviously moved very quickly, but the fact is I will always feel indebted to Matt Campbell for what he did for all of us. And he showed us what really this place has for potential, where in the past we maybe thought about that, but he actually demonstrated it can be done.
Our Local 5 sports team is live from Ames. Raina and Trey, obviously very tough night for the entire Cyclone Nation, but what are you guys seeing at the facility?
Hey, Stephanie. Trey and I got to the facility a little before 8 p.m. That seemed to be when the players and coaches meeting was wrapping up, where Campbell presumably told them about his decision to leave. Now, we also saw people bringing out large photos that appeared to be hanging in an office, so that kind of signified the end of the Matt Campbell era here at Iowa State. And it's interesting because 5 days ago was actually the 10-year anniversary of when he was first introduced as the Cyclones head coach.
It's my pleasure to introduce our new head football coach, Matt Campbell. We wanted a person that fit those needs. Tough-minded, Midwestern-based, run-first, who can recruit. We hit a home run on every one of those points. We wanted somebody with high character. There's not a person that we talked to that could say one bad thing about Matt Campbell.
Incredible. Culture, fans, facilities, people. This is a really special place. And I'll tell my Toledo story in a little bit, but this is a place that's different than a lot of places that I've been.
Before he took the reins at Iowa State, Campbell got his college head coaching job at Toledo. He led the Rockets for 3 years before landing the job at ISU in 2015. And over the past 10 years, Campbell has compiled a 72-55 record, making him the winningest coach in program history. He's led the Cyclones to a bowl game in 9 of the last 10 seasons and produced over a dozen All-Americans. And Campbell is a 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, made it to 2 conference title games. One of those appearances came last year, which was the best season in program history. The Cyclones finished with a school record 11 wins, so there's no doubt that he has really built Iowa State into the program that it is today, and some pretty big shoes to fill for the next head coach, and fans didn't have to wait long to find out who that is.
Yeah, it came in a blink of an eye. At 7:42 officially, a press release was sent out to us and a few other media members announcing that Iowa State has indeed found its replacement. His name is Jimmy Rogers, who comes over after 1 year at Washington State. This past season, that is, he went 6-6 with the Cougars. And the last 2 years before that, he was the head coach at South Dakota State, replacing John Stiglmeyer, who retired after the Jackrabbits' 2022 national title. In year 1 for Rogers, the same success came about. He led SCSU to back-to-back titles and then a semifinal appearance in 2024. According to the press release from ISU that was sent out a few hours ago, athletic director Jamie Pollard said Rogers was on the, quote, short list of Campbell replacements Rodgers, who has always wanted to be the boss at ISU, according to Pollard, in that same press release, comes to Ames on a 6-year deal. So it makes you think, when all that stuff is being said, saying he's on this short list, has always wanted to be here, makes you wonder, how long was this coming about to be in regards to Campbell being out and Rodgers being in?
Yeah, plans were certainly in motion, probably a little bit before we all
Not
found
a lot
it.
of people knew.
No, well, I'm sure a lot of people do have opinions, though, about the whole situation, and our local 5's Emma Stroner talked to some fans to get their thoughts.
I've been speaking with ISU students this evening about reports of Matt Campbell leaving for Penn State, and there's certainly a lot of strong emotions, but one that's universal across the board is shock. Not a single student told me that they saw this coming.
I heard about it this morning right before my first class. We were all sitting in the lobby of the music hall that I've got my classes in, and it was kind of just a big shock to everyone because we didn't really expect him to leave for the Penn State job. He's really kind of changed the cultural mentality here and moved it into more of a serious, in the limelight type of football program.
We were really shocked. I mean, growing up in Iowa, you know, you're either Iowa or Iowa State, and I chose Iowa State. Whole family chose Iowa, so, you know, growing up with 2-9 seasons, and then we finally get a good coach for 10 years and has a above 500 winning percentage, and then he leaves. It hurts. It definitely hurts a little bit.
Penn State did announce that they hired Matt Campbell, but that is pending board approval on Monday. In Ames, Emma Stroner, Local 5 News.